Welcome to ISTV News, and this is Panorama giving you the news. First, the top stories. Fighting election after announcing prime ministerial candidate is unconstitutional, contains Dr. M. Nara. And elected representatives would perform fairly without corruption if expenditure incurred in election is least, 3 MLAs asserts. The news in detail. It is unconstitutional for any political party to fight and win election after declaring a particular leader as its prime ministerial candidate, contended Dr. M. Nara, State Secretary of CPI and common candidate of 10 political parties for the Inner Manipur Parliamentary Constituency in the upcoming 16th Lok Sabha election. Dr. M. Nara made his thinking loud while speaking to the ISTV News today. He said, BJP and Congress are two faces of the same coin. People of India have already seen both parties coming to power at the center. Both are parties which believe in neoliberal economic policy. It is a policy that protects and nurtures the rich class while oppressing the poor. When these two parties are in power, they cannot control price rise and corruption, Dr. Nara said.
Nahaki election ki glamour amada Narendra Modi who Prime Minister Oini, Natraga Adu Oini Haida Torise. These are all unconstitutional. Public the Thamai by public the blur Chalalime, Dilute Torim, people give economic issues, social turmoil, Punamashi the Miam Siki Ashaw, what Tangling Badu the Gi, Nataina, Honabada, a Miyamaka Kimaminda, Prime Minister Oini Kaidana. And that itself is a defect. And this is unconstitutional.
Dr. Nara further said the people of India, including the people of Manipur today, want a change in the country. An illustrative example of this desire of the people is the formation of government in the National Capital Territory of Delhi recently by AAP. So the result of this changing desire of the people of India will reflect in the Lok Sabha election, and thus the third front will come to power in the country, Dr. Nara said.
Corruption is Bharat Punamaki when a tender issue. Loinana, Manipur Kisul government said it's a very corrupt government. Punatagani, Loinana, economic policy, Hongangani, Prajamiamski, Tindariba, Portrait Tamba, Amasun, many other issues. What you think Punamaki, Tinabata, Puna Tingaban, effective, Oina Sida, Manipur, party cap until Parliament is
After the ensuing Lok Sabha election, neither Congress nor BJP will be able to form government. If the third front comes to power, price rise will be controlled and corruption will be curbed. Besides, far-sighted and pro-people policies will be framed to solve the various issues prevailing in Manipur, thus improving life of the people.
UPA have a front BJP na looking by NDA have a front Front ani machine rule to Bharat ki praja ugre. Madugi poche tangba control to ngamde moy corruption thing ngamde amana amu maran china bewani. These are the two sides of a coin in Isaac. Maramadana moy ki policy ase hongan drabadi yaro. Policy si hongna be dong tanga sidi regional party sing amasung the communists sigi group amala madudi party taramati punba hore ise. Sina lapad report is the pro people who policy amadane constituents tawdori.
3 MLAs have spoken out their views on corruption and how to curb it in Manipur. They feel that if the expenditure incurred in the election can be reduced to the minimum, then the elected representatives of the people would perform fairly and without corruption. The MLAs expressed their views on the issue while talking to the ISTV News separately on different days. MLA of Wango Assembly Constituency Oinam Lukoi said, looking at the various elections from Panchayat elections to the Assembly elections and the general elections, Lok Sabha elections, there is a trend of spending huge amount of money during the campaigns. This needs to be eradicated. Among the voters also on the day of polling, there are people who argue that they will not cast their votes until and unless they are paid. If the people want to curb corruption, it is vital that the candidates should not be compelled to spend huge amount of money during the hostings. This will help in producing good leaders and curb corruption in the state, MLA Lukoi said.
Corruption si chang si khara नेमनसी हारगदी प्रजा अखोई वोट थादगदुरु प्रजा सिंसिन मिहुत खनबा मतमदा पैसा याम चंगंदना पैसा वोट थादबदा पैसा पीदरदी थादरोय हाबि वखलोनजे मसी तौद्रबा कांददा साइ कोने थागत खदोरिबा एमएलए ओइदोरिबा रिप्रेजेंट तौदोरिबा मीदुना सुसो सोदन ऑटोमेटिकली पैसा मत तिंगदना काखरगदी प्रजागी मुसुंग लैपाकी अफबा खरदि खलकनी हाइबसे मसीनी आइना थमजनिंगे से प्रजा
MLA of Nauria Pakanglakpa Assembly Constituency RK Anand and MLA of Thanga Assembly Constituency T Mangibabu also expressed similar views on corruption. They feel that though several anti-corruption bills are introduced, if the people do not change their electoral habits, then corruptions can never be curbed. Therefore, the people have a great responsibility in curbing corruption, the two MLAs maintained. They appeal to everyone concerned to try to reduce expenditure in electoral system so that the elected representatives would be able to perform free of corruption.
Election number 1, election I can guarantee next government will scheme corruption. I'll take care. Matam MP election, assembly election, scheme I guarantee. Politician corruption, I'll find out, will punish. I sound so punish me.
Higher Secondary School Leaving Certificate Examination HSLCE conducted by Council of Higher Secondary School Education Manipur has begun today. In all, 22,672 candidates are appearing in the examination. Out of this, 5,623 candidates are in arts stream, 16,555 are in science stream, and 494 are in commerce stream. Totally, there are 59 examination centers, 25 are council centers, and 34 are private centers. 42 flying squads have been constituted to inspect the centers around the clock for conducting the examination smoothly. JSC against the brutal killing of Dr. T.H. Kishan, Y. Token and A. Rajan today observed the 5th Mapari Ningsing Numit in commemoration of the brutal killing of the 3 by NSCN IM at Uripok Ima Lai Kurembi Mandov. The 3 were killed by NSCN IM at Tafaukuki village under Senapati district in 2009. President of the JSC S. Tikendrajit, convener of Joint Committee of Inner Line Permit Ibo Tombi Kuman, Amuko President Dr. Y. Mani, UCM President A. Nabachandra attended the function as presidium members. The commemoration started after lighting the lamp with a sacred fire brought from Kangla. Speaking at the function, convener of JSC Y. Kapoor said, hearing of the final verdict on the triple murder case had been set on January 18 this year. However, declaration of the verdict has been delayed. He further said, if the murderer is not given befitting punishment according to law, the JSC will continue to try to get justice by tooth and nail. Psychologist of AHRC and senior consultant Dr. Rajat Mitra said, women should not go out of their houses at late night, which will be a big help in reducing crime against women. He made this statement while speaking at a lecture program on psychology of racism, a human rights perspective, at a coaching hall of Center of Manipur Studies, Manipur University. Director of Center for Manipur Studies Professor N. Joy Kumar, Head of Department of History Professor Ireni Salam, and Assistant Professor of Political Science MB College Dr. Homan Thangjam, professors, scholars and students took part in the lecture program organized jointly by Center of Manipur Studies and Human Rights Alert. Adding to his speech, Dr. Rajat Mitra said, it is high time we found out the root cause of racism. The act of looking down on the people of Northeast by the people of metros, including Delhi, is not good. He urged the Northeast people, especially the women, not to go out of their houses at wrong timings. We should work to find out the reason for racism, he said.
There were a number of women from Northeast who became regularly the victims of sexual assault. I was responsible for sometimes helping them prepare statements to the police, to the judge. Now, did the assault on the women in Delhi show any different characteristics than, say, for example, sexual assaults on other women? Yes, it did.
Employees Coordinating Committee of all Manipur Government Aided School has expressed happiness over the Cabinet's decision to fulfill the needs of the government aided schools. The committee in a press release praised the Chief Minister and Education Minister for their efforts in taking the decision. The committee has decided to make the vision of Education Minister a success. PHED Minister I. Hemochandra inaugurated a newly opened branch of State Bank of India at Singzamay today. Branch manager of SBI Pauna Bazar, Dipendip, and other officials graced the inaugural function as presidium members. Addressing the gathering, Minister Hemochandra said, establishing a bank in a thickly populated place like Singzamay will not only benefit the residents but will also help travelers since Singzamay is located near the national highway. He eulogized the initiatives being taken by banks. Well, that's the end of our evening bulletin, but before we end, the top stories once again. Fighting election after announcing prime ministerial candidate is unconstitutional, contains Dr. M. Nara. And elected representatives would perform fairly without corruption if expenditure incurred in election is least, 3 MLAs asserts. Thank you for watching our news.